Hi, this is Megan of Megan's Creations. Today I'm showing you a really fun way to use the magic wand when you have unusual shapes that you want to fill or an interesting element or frame that you want to put a photo in that's not a standard shape like circles or squares or rectangles. So my first thing I want to show you is this layout that I did with my kit Wishes and Wings. And you can see that in the corners, I have made the background split and I have a different paper in the corners, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So the first thing we need to do is decide, which areas do we want, and so I decided I wanted those corners to be a different shape. So you see that I've clustered elements around this corner, and I've also made sure they meet up and close off the ends here, because if there's an open end, our magic tool won't work. So I have these shapes, and what I'm going to do first is I need to duplicate them. So I've got my bow here and the butterfly and then my beauty flower, this nice curly ribbon here, and this green leaf here, and then there's the gray flower right there, and there's my little tag, make a wish, and there's the tree, and I think that was everything because this one was the curly ribbon. Yeah. Okay. So I select all the elements that made the border of this shape I want and go ahead and duplicate them. Okay. And then you probably want to go ahead and clear layer style, so it's taking off all the drop shadows and then merging them. Okay, so you want them all together. So now we go to the magic wand and we select this area here that we want. Okay, so it goes around all the shape, and you can see that I had loops in my string here and it's not doing that area, and I want it to. So if you need to add an area with your magic wand, you hold the shift and click again in these other areas that are in these gaps here. Okay, and then there's this area over here, holding the shift key as I click these additional areas that I want to select. Okay, so I think I've got all the areas that I wanted. Okay, and then the next step is to go to select, modify, and let me move that over just a little bit. Select, modify, expand. Okay, we want to expand it just a little bit, because if we try to do it just to this edge of the selection, then we might see a little of it peeking through, and we don't want that. So we're just going to expand just the tiniest bit, 2, 3, 5 pixels, just something little, because we don't want it to go past the string or past any of our thin elements. We just want it to go a little further out from the selection that we've made. Okay, and then go ahead and create a new layer, and it's still selected. Create a new layer, and now bucket fill with whatever color you need into the selection on the new layer. And so now it is bucket filled this, and we can go ahead and do select, deselect, and go ahead and get rid of that merged area you did, and we need to move it under, obviously under all of our elements here. And now you can clip a paper to it, and so you can see I've got that shape right here, and I've clipped these papers, that text and this paper to that, and now that paper is in that little selection I just made. And it's just, I feel like Magic Wand saves a lot of time versus trying to go through and erase around everything, and you might miss something. Magic Wand is a lot faster, and you can, then you'll have that bucket filled area in case you need to change something, add, maybe erase too much. You can't do that. But if you have the select tool, you just perfect your selection and then make it a layer on its own. And I can always adjust this layer if I need to. If I decide, oh, I do want it to be right there, then I can go through and erase, and then it won't show the paper through there. I can make that change. So that's one way if you want to make creative background borders. I've done this a lot with layouts where I've have this cute curly ribbon and it divides my background with two papers. It's a really fun technique to add to your pages. Another one I was talking about was if you have a shape, an element shape that's unusual. So this is a quick page done by my creative team member Stephanie with my to become one kit. And so I thought it'd be cute for these pictures I have of my children. And there's this fun little heart pearl shape in the kit, and I thought how fun would it be to cut a photo to that pearl, to put a photo inside that pearl shape. And especially with pearls, you got all those rounded edges, that's gonna be a pain in the butt to try to erase your photo around that. So in comes magic wand. Okay, so I've got my magic tool selected, and then I actually had to tweak this a little bit. There was a gap in between the pearl right here, and so I went through and I just did a color, or you can do a clone stamp or something, and just added a little strand to keep it connected, because if you ever select something and it goes all over the place, then there's a hole somewhere in the shape you've been selecting. So I did that and I realized, I've got to fill it in. So I did that, and now it's closed so that when I select inside the heart, I get just inside the heart and not all over the page. And then again, it's very important to go select, modify, expand. We'll do about 5. You just double check it didn't go past your the bead strands between the pearls. Okay, I had these little bead strands here and I didn't want it to go past that, and that's perfect right there. So selected with the magic wand, expanded, and now I'm just going to bucket fill this area with some black, and then go ahead, select, deselect, get rid of the selection you did there. And now I can just put my photo above it and do a create clipping mask. I just did right click and it was one of the options, create clipping mask of the photo to that shape, and boom, I've got my little my photo inside of the little heart, making a really fun frame for that photo. So magic wand, it's really fun. It's way quicker than erase tool. Don't live in the dark ages. Use magic wand. It'll make it really fun to try out these techniques, and I'll see you next week.